Hello, Beyond Limits community. This is Timothy MK. I am excited to be able to share a bonus episode with you today. Tom and Lily will discuss the article A Counterintuitive Wisdom, written by Father Richard Rohr. Tom, why don't you get us started?
Did you know that the principles of the 12 steps from Alcoholics Anonymous and the teachings of Jesus in the Gospels can be seen as delivering almost the same message? Intriguing, right?
Wow, that's fascinating, Tom. I've never thought about it that way before. How are they similar?
Well, Father Richard Rohr makes a compelling case that both the 12 steps and Jesus' teachings aim to free us from our personal illusions and attachments. For example, he highlights that addiction is essentially a modern description for what the Bible terms as sin, or what medieval Christians called passions or attachments.
That's really interesting. So what does Rohr say about our addictions?
Rohr presents four main assumptions. First, he claims that we are all addicts in some form because humans are inherently addictive by nature.
Exactly. It makes sense when you think about how we can get so hooked on our habits and routines. What's the second assumption?
The second assumption is quite captivating. Rohr says that stinking thinking is a universal addiction. It's not just substances like alcohol or drugs. We're all addicted to our habitual ways of thinking and behaving. These patterns are usually hidden from us.
Right. So he's basically saying that we need to acknowledge these hidden addictions to start healing. That's really profound.
Exactly. And it brings us to the third assumption. Societies themselves are addicted and create deep codependency. Every culture has its own compulsive behaviors and shared blind spots that are tough to break free from.
Wow, that's quite eye-opening, thinking that our very culture can be like an addict. What's the last assumption?
Rohr's fourth point is that some form of alternative consciousness is needed to break free from our addicted selves and cultural lies. Practices like contemplative prayer help us move beyond binary or either-or thinking.
That's so true. Contemplative practices do help you see the bigger picture and not get stuck in the usual thought patterns. And how does this tie back to the 12 steps?
Great question. Rohr summarizes that both Jesus' teachings and the 12 steps convey similar counterintuitive wisdom. We suffer to get well, surrender to win, die to live, and give it away to keep it.
That's profound. It reminds me of the paradoxes we encounter in life. Sometimes it feels like we need to lose something to gain something more.
Absolutely, and that's the point Rohr makes. This wisdom is often resisted until we're confronted with a reality we can't change, exposing our powerlessness.
It makes me think about the people we often label as addicts. They just have their struggles out in the open, while the rest of us might be hiding ours under layers of social acceptability.
Exactly. Rohr mentions that we're all spiritually powerless, not just those with visible substance abuse issues. Though their struggles are more apparent, they're essentially the same as our hidden ones.
That's so interesting. Father Rohr's view really broadens the scope, making the struggle with addiction a shared human experience, rather than something that only some people deal with.
Right? And Rohr's insights aren't just theoretical, they're also practical. Take, for instance, a testimonial from Caroline L. She found new meaning in her faith and relationships through Rohr's writings and practices.
That's inspiring to hear. It really shows the transformative power of merging spiritual teachings with practical steps for real life.
Absolutely. And I think it all comes back to not just understanding these concepts, but actively embracing them in our daily lives.
Definitely, Tom. This episode has given me a lot to ponder about our complex human nature and the paths available for healing and transformation.
Thank you, Tom and Lily, for such a great discussion today. To join the Beyond Limits community, navigate to news.timothymk.com/free trial and claim a 30-day free trial to our paid community. This is Timothy MK, bringing you topics that take you beyond limits.